Welcome everybody to the Postgraduate Education Webinar Series by HV Desai Eye Hospital. I am Dr. Atul Hegde. I work in the General Ophthalmology Department and the Retina Department. I have no conflict of interest. I will be speaking on teleophthalmology.
Dr. Atul Hegde works as a consultant ophthalmologist in cataract and medical retina services at HV Desai Eye Hospital, Pune, with more than 15 years of experience. He has completed his formal training in medical retina from Shankar Nethralaya, Chennai.
So this is the definition of telemedicine by WHO. The delivery of healthcare service where distance is a critical factor by all healthcare professionals using information and communication technologies for the exchange of valid information for diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of disease and injuries, research and evaluation, and for the continuing education of healthcare providers, all in the interest of advancing the health of individuals and the communities. So this is very important definition. You should learn this. Now, about teleophthalmology. The need of reaching out eye care services to the rural area where they are required the most remains a constant challenge. The cost and efforts incurred in having ophthalmologists attend rural camps and visit vision centers is extremely high. Such initiatives are unable to generate a regular momentum of service delivery required to sustain the impact of eye care services to the rural area. To bridge this gap and help facilitate the delivery of ophthalmic services to the rural areas, teleophthalmology offers much potential. Ophthalmology as a specialty relies heavily on images for diagnosis and management of majority ailments. Teleophthalmology, therefore, particular has a lot of potential in this medical specialty. So these are the objectives of teleophthalmology. First, to make eye care services accessible and affordable by reducing travel cost and time for the patients. To enable people at remote areas have access to specialized eye care facility. To act as interface between doctors to share their experiences. So teleophthalmology can be broadly classified into two systems. One is the fixed or the static system and the other is the mobile system. Teleophthalmology can be done again in two modes. One is a real-time mode. In real-time consultation, two or more distant sites may be connected via video conferencing equipments and people at different sites may seek and speak with each other. The other mode is a store and forward mode. In this mode, audio, static, and video images can be captured along with patient's clinical data and then forward to a specialist who is at a different site. The specialist will diagnose and advise treatment within stipulated time. So this mode is suitable only for non-emergency cases. So going on to the fixed system, it involves setting up of a teleophthalmology central hub unit at tertiary eye center, setting up of a telemedicine link of vision centers with central hub unit. Utilize the central hub of telemedicine for continuing medical education and for clinical research. So this is how the system works in a fixed system. So the patient is examined by an ophthalmic paramedical staff at a vision center. Vision and refraction is done. If everything is normal and patient doesn't require a specialist opinion, then the treatment is given at the vision center and patient can be disposed then and then itself. If there is a requirement of a specialist opinion, teleconsultation and direct interface with the base hospital is done. The reception of the treatment is received. Then if the further treatment is needed, the patient is referred to the base hospital. Or if by consultation, the patient can be managed at the vision center, the patient can be counseled and managed at the vision center. And this is how a fixed system works at vision centers. Now the mobile system, it involves setting up of a rural mobile teleophthalmology unit, linking the rural mobile teleophthalmology unit with the central hub unit. The mobile screening unit is equipped with video slit lamp, fundus camera and refraction unit. The mobile screening unit can be used for extensive eye screening for specialty eye diseases like diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and corneal ulcers. So this is how the mobile system works. The refraction and IOP is done in the mobile van. If it meets the teleophthalmologic criteria, then the fundus photographs are taken. The patient is dilated. Indirect ophthalmoscopy is done. The fundus images are again taken. Teleconsultation is done with the consultant at the tertiary center, and then the spectacles are given or the counseling is done. If patient doesn't require any teleophthalmology, then the spectacles or the treatment is given in the van itself. This mobile teleophthalmology is very helpful in camp screening for camps. Patients at camp location, registration is done, their vision checking is done. If the patient has cataract, the patients are counseled and they are requested to come to the base hospital. If there's no cataract, the refraction IOP is done and they are giving spectacles. So the mobile system can go to very peripheral rural areas and can help in screening of camp patients. So this is how a mobile van is there. It is equipped with all the fundus camera and it has a satellite dish over it so that it can be relayed to the tertiary center. So now coming to the applications of teleophthalmology. First and foremost is patient consultation and counseling. Some teleophthalmology platforms with limited or no scope of imaging facilities help the patient to take appointment with a specific doctor and can help in counseling the patient to visit the tertiary hospital based on the severity of the disease, which can be assessed from his history and documents available. This is particularly helpful in today's scenario where patients are unable to visit our hospital, so they can by teleophthalmology take appointments or just consult a doctor on teleophthalmology and come to the hospital if only required. In extreme cases, when patient is unable to visit hospital, teleophthalmology helps in follow-up consultations and minimizes their post-op follow-ups. Second application is refractive error problems and simple diagnosis in primary healthcare of teleophthalmology can be used for general screening, diagnosing common problems such as cataract, refractive errors. Diabetic retinopathy, ROP, and other specialty eye diseases, teleophthalmology enables secondary care and tertiary care by screening for specialty eye diseases like diabetic retinopathy, ROP, glaucoma screening, and corneal ulcers. This is more applicable when a general ophthalmologist in a smaller practice seeks opinion of a specialist for a complicated condition. The fourth and most important is education and training application. Teleophthalmology is also useful for education and training, where the doctors from different places can share their experiences with each other. It helps to upgrade their knowledge. So now coming to the challenges in teleophthalmology, connectivity is a major challenge. A real challenge today is stability of the connectivity and also availability of affordable broadband connectivity across the country. Availability of trained and experienced personnel in remote areas is a major challenge. Security and confidentiality is again a major challenge. Protocols are yet to evolve, assuring privacy and confidentiality of patients. Also, data security is a major challenge. Sustainability. There is a considerable investment done to seek and provide teleconsultation in terms of equipment, manpower, and other resources. Charging for teleophthalmology is one of the important aspects in this process. It should be sustainable to both clients who seek services and the service provider who offers such services. Medical legal aspects and taking proper consent before teleconsultation is another challenge faced nowadays. So this is all about teleophthalmology. I think it will be helpful to you. Thank you.